Okay, so then we had the start of the show. We had the commentary team of Josh Matthews, Jeremy Boras, and the Pope D'Angelo Danilo. And the show starts off with Joseph Polk and Guido arriving at the arena to drive in the vehicle for the company Polk and Polk Incorporated or whatever it's called. And he makes a joke talking about how this thing's running the family and he only has 3 payments left to make on it until he fully owns it, which is something that normally a pro wrestler would have to do. He talks about how the country was trying to export um, or deport, whatever it's called, Grado. So the way that they did bring up Donald Trump because he's like the president. He's a wackadoo. It was about in that fashion, and um, the way they're gonna solve it is they're gonna try to get Grado married to one of the knockouts on the roster. That was pretty much it. Um, Pretty bad backstage segment. It wasn't funny, and I'm not digging this Grado storyline. I hate Grado. So, and then the next segment was the LAX promo segment. LAX announces pretty much well, Conan gets on the mic and he says that you know he talks about how now LAX is stronger now that they have Alberto El Patron. He even says that the blue pill makes them harder, which was really weird to say. And he brings out Alberto El Patron. Alberto El Patron, um, talks about how he asked why he's doing this. He asks why they put him in the group without even asking him if he wanted to join. And Conan says all he has to do is say yes. We can have a Latin American exchange. And he even says, "Do you remember how mistreated we've all been? How mistreated we were to the WWE by the WWE?" Um, and he says that this way we can stick it in their face. He even talks about how proud of him he was when he represented Mexico, and Alberto El Patron then says, "Yeah, of course, I think about that all the time, but I'm trying to make a new life here. I've been a loader, in Japan, in Mexico, and I plan on doing the same thing here. I got my fans now." And Conan then, you know, uh, keeps asking him to join. Alberto El Patron keeps saying no. You son of a bitch. And then he gets beat down by LAX, and El Patron tries to fight him off best he can. But, it's just a beat down. And then Lashley comes out and makes the save and clears the win, hits a suplex, I believe, on Santana. And Lashley and El Patron stand tall. I wish Lashley, because he really didn't turn face, had just laid out El Patron with a spear to kind of show that he still wants to take his world title. Problem with this segment is it was another way pretty much for Alberto El Patron and Conan to take a shot at WWE, which obviously Alberto El Patron we know loves to do that, even though the company pushed him to the fucking moon. He was Mr. Money in the Bank. He won the largest Royal Rumble ever. He got to wrestle in a world title match his first year at WrestleMania. He was WWE champion twice. He got to wrestle John Cena. He's fucking they pushed him to the fucking moon, but yet he fucking hates them. And obviously, it's his own fault he was fired. The first time it wasn't his fault, but the second time he fucking quit because he got suspended for steroids. Fucking idiot. And then you have Conan. Now Conan, I just read on this, was fucking the same case. He pretty much was the Max Moon character, which wasn't the greatest character, but he pretty much missed appearances and was a fucking dickhead backstage. And then he talks about how Rey Mysterio was mistreated. Rey Mysterio was the fucking face of the Mexican heritage for fucking years. Shut the fuck up with that shit. Eddie Guerrero, they pretty much got helped by WWE. Give me a fucking break. This segment sucked ass. It felt so soap opera by the way this was going. Conan sucks. And this segment sucked. This show has sucked so far. This was I mean, it's just started, but this was a terrible start to the show. This segment, both two segments were terrible. It makes absolutely no sense that Lashley and Alberto El Patron are all of a sudden friends after the fact that they were just fighting for 3 months over the world title. Um, and I don't really get it. And Conan sucks. So overall, I thought I thought the show, I thought this segment and the backstage segment were pretty terrible. Okay, so we had the first actual match on the show. It was a Super X Cup tournament first round match. ACH versus Andrew Everett. And before the match, both guys get like a nice little video package introducing them. I like that they do that, kind of introduce us to both competitors. And we meet ACH. He talked about how he's been watching, how he's been a professional wrestler for 14 years, and how he immediately watched it. When he watched it, he was immediately hooked to it. And then he talks about how he wants to win the Super X Cup to make a big impact. Maybe one day he could wrestle on the moon. But he says that he doesn't like to going to a match, really looking ahead. He likes to take his career one step forward. So I thought that was good there. And then Andrew Everett cuts a promo talking about how he's always been this close to winning the X Division Championship. And he says that the Super X Cup could get him right to the X Division Championship. And I thought he had a very good video package. And I thought this match actually was a good match here. Both men start chain wrestling each other. Andrew Everett hits a head scissors. He also hits a drop kick. ACH hits a Hurricanrana, and he hits a drop kick himself. And then eventually Andrew Everett hits a head scissors, driving ACH to the floor. Then he hits a moonsault from the um, top rope. I love the replay that they showed of that. I thought that was really cool. Um, and Andrew Everett hits a wicked drop kick, covers ACH. ACH kicks out, and then ACH hits a. He goes for Andrew Everett goes for roll up. ACH counters into like a. He turns it like into a handstand and hits a super kick right onto Andrew Everett, and then he hits like a drop kick, a double stomp to the back, and a shooting like a moonsault while he's on the ground, all in like 6 seconds, which looked really sick. He covers Everett kicks out. ACH hits a cross body block outside the ring, and then he puts Andrew Everett in the ring. He goes for like a another high flying move, but Andrew Everett tries to counter into a springboard. But Andrew ACH catches him into a German suplex, and then he does like a exorcism walk, but like he doesn't do the walk, but he does like the stand forward, and then he just stands right the fuck up. I thought that looked fucking sick. And then Everett hits the Mount Everett, covers him. ACH kicks out, and then eventually the finish comes when ACH hits a super kick and then a brainbuster for the win, and ACH advances in the tournament. I thought this was a good match here, though. I thought this, was a good showcase. I thought this match was actually better than the match that took place the previous week, and ACH advances in the tournament. I thought Andrew Everett would have won because of his story that he had going in here. But ACH won. I'm fine with that. Puts over new talent. And good match here. Nothing to complain about. Okay, so next, Gail Kim comes out and makes her announcement. And Gail Kim comes out and talks about how she's had the privilege to accomplish so much in professional wrestling and travel the world and work with some of the best athletes. And she said that she, has no regrets for it, but she announces that you, you know she uh, that she's going to be retiring at the end of the year. Um, so she said that she wanted to go out on top and in her hometown, and she thanks everybody um, in the Impact Zone and everybody that she's ever worked with and stuff. And I guess it's kind of sad that Gail Kim is going to be retiring. She's probably one of the best wrestlers. She really helped revolutionized the knockouts division in 2007, and you know, she's done it all. She won the women's title her first night in the WWE, and she's had some great matches and had some classics. She was in the first ever Last Knockout Standing match and did all that stuff. So I think that was it's a little bit of a shame. Um, but obviously, Gail Kim couldn't last forever, and she's going out on her terms, so that's good to hear. I don't know if she is going to have um, a final match, considering the fact that she did say by the end of the year. I think she should end it. Now, a lot of people probably think she's going to go to WWE and stuff. I think she should just end her career in, TNA. I know it's not TNA anymore, but I'm just saying that since it was that when she was there, um, because of the fact um, that that's really where she became a huge star, and that's where she was taken seriously. So I think she should end her career in TNA. So I like Gail Kim's announcement, but then it goes to shit because Chris Adonis comes out and he talks crap to the Swan brothers, um, who are having a TV show debut. Well, it's already debuted. It debuted last week, so the following week. So he comes out and he challenges them to get in the ring. They do so. One of them like picks up the guardrail and throws it. Um, and you know, he just challenges him to a pose down, and they have a pretty terrible pose down. And then Eli Drake comes out and tries to talk out of it. Referees have to separate them. It was terrible. It really had no purpose. It's G.F.W. Promoting, a TV show. And I always hate it when professional wrestling promotes other things that's not going to benefit them because I don't see how it's going to benefit them. And it was awful. But overall, I thought Gail Kim's announcement was very emotional, and Gail Kim will be missed in the wrestling business when the end of the year comes. Don't know if she will have one final match, but I feel like she went out pretty well on top. But the pose down was awful. Okay, so then we had the next match. I have it written down right here. It's Demus versus Octagoncito. No, Cito. Octagoncito, sorry. I misread it. Uh, Solid match. Octagoncito, I thought looked pretty strong in that match. He hits a pretty sick Hurricanrana, then he hits a head scissors, then he hits a corkscrew springboard plunger, and then Demus hits a running power slam, and then he hits like a face first power slam. He dominates the matchup. Octagoncito makes his comeback, and he hits a high cross body, and then eventually he wins the match with a Hurricanrana roll up. Kind of wish he would have won the match with a more definitive finish to make him look strong, but it was what he offered. It was what it was. Demus, I thought looked pretty strong. I think, this match was solid. Obviously, I didn't know any of these wrestlers, but I mean, it didn't hurt the match. I think what hurt it, it's just kind of felt like it was there. But it was solid though. I thought Octagon Ciento looked solid. If they were gonna put him in, why didn't they put him into the Super X Cup tournament? Like a lot of these guys, like I don't understand why they're not in it. I'm gonna get to that in a second. And then we had the next segment, and I thought this segment was awesome. You see Joseph Polk and Grado backstage again, and Joseph Polk has Grado go ask all of the knockouts if they want to date him. So it goes through like this montage, playing this romantic music of Grado trying to ask all the knockouts to go on a date with him. And one of them makes up a lame excuse saying that she has to wash her hair, and then he keeps going through it. Some of the highlights I thought is when he creeps up on Sienna, and she looks right behind him, and he just creeps away. He just gets scared and walks away. When he was trying to ask Rosemary, and she scares him away, and then he tries to ask Allie, and obviously she's trying to say no since she's dating somebody else. And then Braxton Sutter comes up, and he's like, "What's going on here?" And then he runs away, and then you see Joseph Park even watching this, and then they run away like, "Bad idea, bad idea." And then yeah, then Grado and Joseph Park then tells Grado saying that we only have one final chance. We have one final opportunity, and he gives him some champagne and chocolates, something that girls can't resist, and he gives him a chance to go try it. So even though I don't really care about this Grado storyline, this segment I thought was high comedy and entertainment at its finest. I thought it was, honestly. And then next it shows a video package for Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal, he talks about, when he first came to TNA doing that first pay-per-view back in Victory Road. And he says that, if you ever would have thought that, asked me if when I was 16 years old if I would have gotten to this spot, I would have said that you're crazy. And then he says that, that he's here to, he never thought himself as an X Division wrestler or a certain type. He just thought himself as one of the best in the world. And then that was pretty much the entire video package. I liked it. The question is why didn't they fucking put Matt Sydal in the Super X Cup? He probably could have had some of the best matches there, but instead they turned him back for, some of these other wrestlers they got in there. Some of these other wrestlers look pretty talented, but why not put Matt Sydal in it? He would have probably had the best story after everything that he's gone through in his professional wrestling career, but I don't know. But I actually thought the stuff at the show was actually pretty good. I thought the Octagon Cito match and Demus match was solid. I liked the segment with Joseph Park and Grado, and I liked the video package with Matt Sydal. So this was pretty solid stuff in the show. It was good. Okay, so next we had a Impact Grand Championship match. Impact Grand Champion Moose versus, I have the guy's name written down in my notes. It was Muchi Mawafuji, I think is how you say his name. And we had Ethan Carter III on commentary for this match. He ended up taking to Pope D'Angelo to nail a spot, which was a plus. The problem I had with this, though, is he didn't say anything. Like, he's a great talker. He would have been great in this spot, but they didn't have him say anything. It was stupid. I guess you could say, well, silence speaks louder than words. But EC3 could have said so much. He could have talked about how this was bullcrap. He didn't get this title shot. He could have, talked about how Moose isn't a fighting champion. He could have talked about how he took out James Storm at Slammiversary. They had him say nothing. Nothing. He could have done great. What was the point of putting him out there if you weren't going to have him say anything? It was stupid. So yeah, that was dumb. And then you had the judges of Dutch Mantell, Bruce Pritchard, and some other guy, I forget his name. And you also had Tyrus out there. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Tyrus. And this match was average. I personally didn't care for it really all that much, but it was average. They put some good moves out there. It's the stipulation sucks. The way they do these Impact Grand Championship matches. I remember seeing them back in Bound for Glory. They sucked then. They still suck. They promote these as boxing matches and UFC matches where it's 3-minute rounds, and it's a decent idea because it makes the matches feel different. But the problem is the wrestlers don't get to do anything because they're 3-minute rounds. They barely get to do anything. And yeah, like every time like you get into the match, the round ends and they have to stop fighting. It's just the thing with boxing is it's just punches, so it can work. It makes it feel special. But in UFC, obviously there's a lot of submission holds and stuff going on. But wrestling's a different game than that. So by the time the wrestlers don't even get to do anything in the match. So it's stupid. Now, maybe if this concept would work better, I think like the concept would work better if these matches were 5-minute rounds each, because then the wrestlers would actually get to do stuff. But the wrestlers don't even get to do anything in this match. By the time you really get into this match, the round ends and they have to just do this stupid. It's stupid. It doesn't work with wrestling. And yeah. So Moose dominates the first round. Um, he really just dominated Momofuji. So he wins the first round from 9 to 18 points. Well, 18 to 9 points, you normally say the top points. And then Naofuji, he pretty much got squashed in this match. He did nothing in this match impressive. Moose fucking steamrolled through him. The same thing happened in the second round, but yet fucking somehow Naofuji wins the second round, which makes no fucking sense because Moose fucking dominated him in the second round. And ironically enough, the judges rated the score, the exact same score, but reverse. Makes no fucking sense. And then the third round happens. Now Fuji starts doing well, but then EC3 comes in, hits him on the back with the wind bell, and then he goes to hit Moose with the wind bell. Moose fights him off. And they're obviously setting up to a Impact Grand Championship match between EC3 and Moose. I would look forward to that match. But yeah, why would you hype up this Noah Momofuji guy just to do this? He got squashed pretty much in this match. It was stupid. This match is stupid. This concept is stupid. Ironically enough, Moose and Nao Momofuji could actually probably work a solid match together, but it's just the stipulation is stupid. How could anybody have a good match with this stipulation? It's dumb. And then you had LAX backstage, and Conan, talks about how when Alberto El Patron refused to join LAX, he let his emotions get the better of him. So they want LAX to teach him a lesson and take him out on a stretch and to teach Lashley a lesson as well. Conan fucking sucks. These segments with LAX backstage suck, so I don't care about them. Then we had Trouble Lee versus William Weeks, or whatever the fuck his name was. It was some jobber. He talks about how he's going to give him an opportunity, how he's made his name in Japan and stuff. And, he wants to wrestle with the championship around his waist, considering the fact that he knows that Sanjay Dutt's going to be coming back to steal his championship from him. And, Trevor Lee dominates this match, but while the match is going on, you see Sanjay Dutt backstage, and he's being held back by security because he wants to go after Trevor Lee. Why the fuck's he being held back if he's going to go back and take something that's rightfully his? That makes no fucking sense. And then, Trevor Lee wins with a double stomp, and afterwards Sanjay Dutt jumps through the crowd, attacks Trevor Lee, and then he tries to take his title back, but Trevor Lee grabs it, and it was stupid. The storyline is stupid. Trevor Lee's not really a bad wrestler, and he can cut a decent promo, but this storyline is just stupid. The way they set that up was stupid. So yeah, this next few parts of the show was stupid, and it was terrible. Nothing else more to say. So yeah, the Impact Grand Championship match was stupid. The Trevor Lee match was stupid. The LAX backstage segment was stupid. This whole half of the show was stupid here. Next was a knockout match. It was Laurel Van Ness versus Eva Story. Bad. Didn't care about it. It was awful. Laurel Van Ness's character's terrible. She's pretty much a crazy lady and has been wearing the same wedding dress and has like the mist that Rosemary had shot at her. She wins with a shitty ass curb stomp. Fucking looked terrible. That move's supposed to be banned, but yet G.F.W. decides, hey, let's do it anyways. And then Grado and Joseph Paul comes out. Grado talks about how beautiful she is and stuff. And then he asks her out on a date. Congo Khan comes out. I don't know if this is the same Congo from Top Rope Promotions. I really don't give a shit. And Grado runs away. Terrible. It's just awful. Yeah, it sucked. All right, so then we had the main event. It was a tag team match. It was Alberto El Patron and Lashley versus David Ortiz and Santana with Conan, Homicide, and Demantra, whatever her name is. This was a solid match. I thought this was a decent tag match. Alberto El Patron and Lashley dominated the beginning of it. LEX get the heat on Alberto El Patron for a while, then eventually he reverses it, hit the reverse superplex off the top onto Santana, and then he tags in Lashley. He hits a wicked suplex on Ortiz, and then eventually behind the referee's back, Homicide takes a cheap shot. Don't understand why they're having Homicide just be a manager unless he just wants to be a manager, but whatever. And then the you know Ortiz and Santana dominate Lashley for a while. I thought they hit some nice solid double team tag moves. Then eventually Alberto El Patron gets the hot tag, and Lashley and El Patron win. When Lashley goes for like a neck break, and then El Patron hits a double team move for the win. And then afterwards, they celebrate. Alberto El Patron then says that even though they've been enemies, him and Lashley make a damn good team. But then before anything else can happen, he gets attacked by the LAX, and Conan gets on the mic and says, "You're gonna regret going against me," and they beat him down as the theme song plays and the show ends. And then that was it. Solid tag match. I don't understand why you would Bailey LAX kind of by having them lose. Um, it really just didn't make him look like a credible faction, and with all the guys that were out there, it really didn't make any sense. And why did Lashley, because actually he didn't even help, why did Lashley all of a sudden not help him then? It didn't make any sense. Um, so yeah, this was solid, but I didn't really like the stuff that came out of it. Like, LAX losing and then Lashley not coming out and saving Alberto El Patron. It made no sense, but whatever. All right, so now let me give you guys my star ratings for each match and then my overall thoughts on this show. I have to remember each match off the top of my head. For the Super X Cup tournament first round match, I'm going to give that match 3 stars. I thought that was a good back and forth match where I thought the right person went over. So that was the first match. And then it was, I have it here. I got to find, because I didn't write any of these matches down because I just was watching the show live. And then for the Demus versus what was his name? Octagoncito, whatever his name was. I thought that was a solid match. I thought that was a 2-star match. And then for the Impact Grand Championship match, I'm giving that a star and a half. I thought that was a the match itself really wasn't bad. I just didn't really care for the stipulation and what happened in the match and the way it was booked. For the knockout match, that's getting 1 star. That was just a bad match. And for the tag team match, that's getting 2.5 stars. My overall thoughts on the show was, even though it did have some good stuff on it, like the match between Demus and Octagoncito, I thought that was good. I liked Matt Seidel's video package. I liked the tag team match. And I liked the montage they did with Grado. But really, overall, this was a bad show. The bad overweighed the good. You had that terrible opening segment. You have that terrible Grado storyline that I still think is bad, even though it had one good segment out of it. It still makes it a bad storyline. I thought I even forgot to give my star ratings for one of the matches. I'll leave it down in the description box for the Trevor Lee versus the week's match. I forget his name off the top of my head. That's probably half a star. So, but yeah, I thought the build up they did with the X division was terrible. I thought the knockouts match was terrible. The way the Impact Grand Championship match and what they did with EC3, how they had him come out on commentary and not say anything. And yeah, this was just a terrible show. Impact Wrestling, even though it's rebranded as G.F.W. It seems like that this is still the same crap that TNA used to do. It's awful. I even forgot about the terrible stuff they did with Chris Adonis and the guys from that TV show. Now I forget the name of. That was awful. This was just a terrible show. It's awful. If I had to rate this show, it's probably getting a 4 out of 10. It was awful. Last week's episode actually was better. Like, GFW, you got to perform better shit than this. Because it's really getting hard now to support this company and watch it. And they got one more episode to watch. And this was shit. This was crap. So please improve these shows. Like, oh my gosh, it was awful. Like, like improve these shows, please. Like, for fuck's sake. Almost forgot. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure you click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you get the notification for it. Make sure you do the same for my CM Brothers and on the Talking Data YouTube channels. I got some videos coming on there later on today. And then, yeah, that's about it. Make sure you click on the bell so that way you'll get the notification every time I upload a video there. And thank you guys for watching this video. Talk to you later.